Oh, to Zeno's Pizza for Bobcat Live. I'm Dylan Doze. Brandon Lewis is on assignment in Maui. I wish I was on assignment in Maui. My wife's angry at him. I'm angry at him. But if I'm not in Maui, at least I'm with Coach Apple. So that's right. Pretty good. Well, welcome into Zeno's. We're here, happy to be here. We'll have Coach Apple with us, Dalen Houston, Trey Brooks in the third segment. Then we are lucky to have Coach Brian Murphy. And then to wrap it up, we'll have Sarah Huffman and Amaya Moore from the Bobcats girls team. Coach, we sit at 3-1. How you feeling about the season so far?
You know, seen a lot of good things so far. It's still early, so we're continuing to improve every day in practice. And our guys are excited. You know, they're working hard each day. So a lot of positives we're seeing early on. So you got done with practice right after school today. How'd practice go as we look forward to tomorrow? What's the team looking like? Are we ready to roll with Mason tomorrow? Yeah, we are. I mean, our guys had a good 2 practices here. A lot of sickness, unfortunately, rolling around, so we're a little short-handed. But we made the best of it with the guys we had there tonight, and they worked hard and gave us a lot of good effort. And as you say, kind of short bench tomorrow. What's the rotation going to be looking like tomorrow night? Well, it's just a couple less bench guys. Braden Weatherly's sick, Corey Smith's sick today, so you know, we just gotta roll with who we got and a couple less guys off the bench. All righty, Coach. We got started a little bit late, so I know you can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, and on the website, and we'll get that fixed for you next week. But when we come back, we're gonna dive in, look at the first four games, kind of do an autopsy, look at the offense, look at the defense. I may ask you some nerdy questions, and then we'll get ready for Mason. You're watching Bobcat Live here, live at Zeno's Pizza.
Marshalltown's best pizza, Zeno's is the place to get delicious homemade pizza from scratch that the whole family will love. For some, it's a family tradition, and Zeno's Pizza is all about old-school family-owned pizza making. Zeno's respects tradition so much that they have had the same thin-crust pizza recipe for over 70 years. There are a couple of ways to get your Zeno's Pizza. You can dine in, order online for pickup, or call 641-752-1245. Zeno's Pizza, 109 East Main Street, downtown Marshalltown.
And we're back here at Zeno's Pizza, here with Coach Michael Apple. I'm Dylan Doze. Again, Brandon is in Hawaii enjoying his much-deserved anniversary after his first year. So, Coach, 3-1, wins over Des Moines North, over Roosevelt on the road, over Newton on the road, with the lone loss being the third game in 4 days against Urbandale on Friday. I want to start with maybe the strength. Definitely the strength of this ball club is defensively. Right now, giving up just under 45 points a game. What can you point to the defensive intensity here of the Bobcats so far this year?
Yeah, I think it's just the pride that we have on playing defense and wanting to get stops every time and not taking possessions off. This team has been one of the best I've seen since I've started coaching here of doing that. They just don't take plays off on defense, and they're ready. We pressure the ball a lot. We have some guards, and we're athletic enough to do that, and it makes it tough for teams to do anything when we do that. It makes it tough for them to reverse the ball at times. Kind of takes them out of what they want to do.
And all the teams that you played this year are not afraid to shoot it from outside, but to each and every game, three-point shooting percentages by opposing teams has been quite low. What is that again? That perimeter defense?
We're closing out hard. We're making it tough for them. We call it force them off the line, make them dribble, and then we can react from there. Our philosophy was once they're on one side of the floor, we want to try and keep them there as long as possible. So our guys know if it's a reversal guy, we're trying to deny that guy, and then just kind of keep that ball on the same side and force them baseline.
And last year and the year before, actually, you relied so heavily, if it was on the perimeter, that Drake Kapayu would guard 1 through 3, sometimes at the same time. This year, you're seeing a lot more intensity, especially look at Trayshawn at that front. And then you even look at some of the growth of Jackson Eisenbarth, who was he would get caught in mismatches, and it would be game over. This year, he's holding his own.
Yeah. That just comes with experience, and we practice it so much that he understands he has to guard if he wants to be out there, and so he's taking pride in that, and he's working hard at it.
And as we watch in the half court, almost you see a lot of man-to-man. You will see some zone mixed up, and then you will mix up three-quarters court, full court. What's really your philosophy when deciding what defense to run and at what point in the game?
Well, we've been so good man-wise, we really haven't even thought of really running any zone yet. And that's something we'll obviously add as the season goes on. But if we're having success with something, we really don't want to go away from it. And our guys, are buying into doing it, and they enjoy doing it. So that's kind of where we're going to just stick with it and stick with what we know and what we're doing well.
And we've seen you go into some full court, three-quarters court. Urbandale, of course, being down, you have to extend that defense. But we've seen it in leads as well. What's your philosophy when you're extending that defense?
Well, we're just trying to get them out of what they want to do and see if they're, going to make a mistake on their own. Really, we're not necessarily trying to trap them or speed them up or anything like that. We're just in a position to where they have to reverse the ball around a little bit. And then, if they're going to throw a long one where we can get a deflection or get a tip, we'll do that and try and create some offense that way.
And then if we want to flip to the other side, and this is really, we talked about it after the North game, that the offense isn't where you would like to see it. Right now averaging just about 49 points a game, which on average is not where you want to be. I always remember playing for Coach Bergeron at East Marshall. The line was 60 points.
Sure.
If you score over 60, you win in high school basketball. You score under 60, it's a toss-up. So here we sit at under 50. What do you think kind of the misfiring, so to speak, comes with the offense at this point?
Sometimes we're just a little stagnant at times. We're not cutting when we need to. We're not reversing the ball. It just kind of sticks in guys' hands, and we're not moving it and cutting hard, and so it's just everything needs to be with a purpose. If we're going to pass it, we got to be moving to set a screen and set a good screen to get a guy open, and go from there. A lot of times we're just kind of in our transition. We're letting them play a little bit, and if we're doing that, we need to make sure we're moving and cutting. And if the post is open down low and the guy's playing behind him, we got to throw it in there, and then we can have some action start from there. And our guys are doing a good job of understanding and listening every day and practicing. The past couple of days, we've seen growth, and we know they can do it. It's just at times they just kind of get just the flow of the game or whatever it may be. We just kind of forget to do it sometimes.
And one of the things you see on this team, you saw it on the football team as well, there seems to be great camaraderie. There seems to be really good chemistry. At some points, can that actually be part of the problem where there does seem to be almost too passive with the basketball on offense?
Yeah, we're telling some of our guys they need to be more aggressive when they get it. We're trying to reverse it when we don't need to. When we need it, that needs to be a driving opportunity where there's gaps there for them to drive it and make something happen. So seeing the floor, seeing when it's a pass, now it's a driving opportunity, things like that. We're continuing to work on with them. And
one of the things we see on that offensive side of the ball, brand new starting backcourt. I think they've done a really nice job, especially Trayshawn, the second half of that Newton game. We talked a little bit about it, and Carter is not afraid of anything or anybody. And his shot was very big in those first couple games of the year. What are you seeing from your newly minted junior backcourt?
A lot of good things. They're running the team the right way. They're leading the right way and making sure we're where we need to be. Offensively, they're sharing it. Especially Trey's being aggressive. He's getting to the rim. The past couple of games, we've seen that a lot more. And then Carter's just being smart about, when he's open, he's able to shoot it and make them. So But most importantly, their defense and then the pressure we're putting on teams has been probably the most impressive thing. Just how consistent we've been each game doing that.
And we have seen the offense spurt at points, and we saw this a little bit last year, but you look at the North game, 17 points in the first quarter. I believe it was Newton you saw 22 points in the fourth quarter. You see these moments. What are you seeing in those quarters that you're not seeing in, say, those 8-point quarters as we saw in quarter number 2 against North?
Just a lot more decisiveness, I think. Guys are wanting, getting the ball ready to make a play, and we're not just passing it, and then all of a sudden we're getting in a position where we're settling for kind of a 15-footer contested or a quick three sometimes, things like that, where it just we go through these spurts where we don't score it for 3 or 4 possessions. We're still getting stops, but we aren't scoring. So, that's something we're continuing to work on, and we're seeing a lot of progress with that. But just the more consistent we can get with just continuing to score and not having those legs, it's going to help us, hugely, obviously.
And one thing we're seeing early in the season is a lot of zone defense played against you. Man-to-man, I haven't seen anybody really be able to guard, if it be Trey getting into the lane, Dalen, or Prince himself. When Prince is off the bench, there's nobody guarding anybody one-on-one.
Right.
But when they pack into that zone, it seems the three-point shot isn't falling. Are you anticipating a lot more zone defense until those threes start to drop?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if a team was scouting us that they would want to try and pack it in and zone us. But, we know we have the shooters and we have the ability to shoot it. We just haven't shot it great in some of these games. So, that doesn't worry us. The biggest thing with that is if that first pass were wide open, kind of like against Urbandale a lot of times, more than likely the 5th or 6th or 7th, or when it's 15 seconds on the clock, it's going to be there too. So let's just work to try and get it inside, try and get something aggressive to the hoop if we need to. Then if we got it going and we're hot, and then just let it fly, kind of go from there. I
was talking to Coach Goodvin because he's going to join me tomorrow night for your game, going to do the color for us on the Friday night showcase on KFJB-TV, so we're pretty excited about that. And so we were just talking about it, and one of the things is as you look at the roster and looking at the percentages, I think you look at Drake really hasn't shot it a lot, and when he hasn't shot it super well. You look at even players like Corey Smith coming off the bench. Dalen's got a good shot. Trayshawn's hit one. Carter Giannetto, especially first couple games, hit quite a few threes. You have shooters out there, but it just seems a little bit like that Ziploc bag is closed. So there does seem to be a lot of shooters. So when you're seeing these things where the percentages are in the 20s, but the talent and the skill is there, from a coaching perspective, what are you saying concerning hitting threes and transition, or maybe from the kick out? How are you talking to him about that?
It's just a matter of sometimes time and score and where we're at in the game and the flow of it and how they're feeling. Drake's a guy that comes to mind where if he's open, he's probably going to shoot it every time. So we're not concerned with that. Same with Jackson. And if they're not hitting right away, maybe we need to adjust a little bit how quick they're going to shoot it. But at first, if they're open, they're gonna shoot it, and then kind of check their oil or check their how hot they are and go from there. So that's kind of the approach we take. With guys kind of like Drake and Jackson, Braden comes to mind as well. If they're open, right away, we're gonna see how it goes.
Well, Tuesday, what to watch was Jackson. Jackson hit 4 threes. I'll give you a little bit of foreshadowing for tomorrow night. I'm going to see if I have the magic touch. I am going to put Drake in there just to see if he can get rolling threes. If it doesn't work, then I have no talent over that. So, but let's flip the script a little bit for tomorrow night. Mason City. Mason City, no matter what it is, who they are, who's on the team, it's going to be close. Last year we lost this game at home. We're able to take one up there. What are we looking at as far as tomorrow night? What are you anticipating with the Cale Hobart-led now Riverhawks from Mason City?
Yeah, I mean they're a solid team, top to bottom. They have guys that have the ability to score it at every position that they have. They're just we just need to be really solid on all the guys. Like you said, They're led by Holbert. I think that's how you say it. Hobart. Whatever it is. But he's a good player. He's solid. He can hurt you in a lot of different ways, kind of all three levels. Where if he's open, he's gonna shoot it at the three, and then he has the ability to drive it a little bit and get to the hoop. So we have to have a good effort on him, and then just be solid on their other guys, and continue to have the emphasis on the defense and getting stops.
And then we look at, and we talked about this before we even started shooting, is they have a couple, Tate Millsap, Davian Maxwell, that are new to their roster, definitely contributing. They've really played a couple teams that Waterloo East lost a close one. I believe Waterloo East is probably going to be pretty good this year. And then they played a small school in New Hampton, and that's always hard to really judge. So they sit at 1-1. Defensively, is there anything you're worried about what they do, or anything that you're really preaching to your team?
They're going to switch it up a little bit. I think they'll run some zones at us, and then they'll press us a little bit as well, and then run man. So we just got to identify what they're doing. Take care of the ball, take good shots, be aggressive towards the rim. I think we can hurt them on the rebounding. So just crash the glass, get some second chance points that way, and then just keep doing what we've been doing on the defensive side, and get stops and ready to go in transition and get some runouts that way.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck tomorrow night. When we come back, Trayshawn Brooks, Dalen Houston, you're watching Bobcat Live here at Zeno's Pizza.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you to understand today's financial landscape and how to be positioned for the long term. Edward Jones can give you the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Call Zach Wall at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown, or online at edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Since 1967, Jensen Ford Lincoln has served generations of families around central Iowa. Quality vehicles, professional service, knowledge of our product, that's a part of Jensen. But what's more important to us is a trust that is passed down from every generation. Jensen Ford Lincoln wants to serve your family. We want to be there for your first car, we want to be there for your family SUV, and we want to see you drive away in the Mustang you always dreamed of. At Jensen, we want to be here for you now and every mile along the way.
Whether it's time for a new ride or a new-to-you ride, Lennox Employees Credit Union is here to help with new and used vehicle loans. Rates are as low as 2.24% for up to 60 months for new vehicles and used vehicles for 48 months. Go to their website, lennoxecu.com, for further details and membership eligibility, or call the office to talk to a loan officer. Low auto loan rates from Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown, member NCUA.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
And we're back here at Zeno's Pizza for Bobcat Live. And really happy to be joined by Dalen Houston and Trayshawn Brooks, junior point guard, power forward for your Marshalltown Bobcats. You all sit at 3-1. Dalen, as you had looked at this season, are you guys sitting kind of where you thought you would?
Yeah. There's a lot more room for improvement. We're kind of working up to where we're supposed to be for the Wells.
Yeah. Trey, from your perspective.
Nah, it's the same thing as Dalen. I expected undefeated, but losing one game so far is good too. We're still working to get better, and I think we can keep improving.
So one of the things has been lucky enough to watch you guys, Dalen watching you some last year, kind of find your way, especially seeing, I think it was that third quarter of the Southeast Polk game where you just kind of had that quarter. It might have been the second quarter, but you had a 10-point quarter. Really felt like everything came together. We're able to get some runouts, get some dunks. It seems, Trayshawn, maybe the second half of that Newton game, it seemed you came out, and that was kind of the switch hit that I've seen a much more aggressive Trayshawn Brooks since that Newton game. What does it feel like to kind of get your feet underneath you? Now you're the point guard. It's on your shoulders to kind of set up the offense. What's that been like the beginning of the season?
You just have to get used to it. I wasn't really used to like playing as the main guard, main player, but after that, during halftime, coaches came up to me, teammates came up to me, told me, "We need you to score. We need you in this game." But since they told me that, it was like, all right, I have to flip the switch.
So what do you say to Trayshawn at that Newton halftime? Just exactly what he said there?
Really, I just saw him frustrated that he wasn't, going how he thought it was supposed to go. So I just kind of pulled him to the side and like you're really good. Like,
yep.
He can't guard you. Just do your thing, You just play with confidence. Go your way.
And it definitely seemed like you took that to heart. I was talking to Coach after the game, and he goes, "Yeah, at halftime we just said you got to go." And I go, "Trayshawn must be one of the few teenagers in this world that's a great listener right off the been told once, and there he went and did it." When you're looking at the point guard, what is your philosophy of playing point guard? Because there's a lot of different styles of point guards. You look at the Magic Johnson pass first with a little bit of flair. You got that John Stockton look. You look at Chris Paul, very similar, or that score first point guard like Marbury, or you look at, and I'm giving you all old man references, but it's where I come from. What's your philosophy playing that point guard position?
What my teammates and coaches like to call me is the facilitator.
I like it.
So just facilitate everything. See what's open. See what can happen. It's like they know that I can get them the ball or go score, so they're confident on whatever I do.
And then, Dalen, one thing, getting to watch you last year, again, we saw it in football, we see it in basketball. There's this incremental growth. You can tell when you feel comfortable. Like there's just this massive jump when you feel comfortable. Physically, one of the things we're seeing this year, yes, you could throw one down on the break, but you were finishing at the rim in traffic. I think it was the Urbandale game. It was a breakout. You had 3 guys on you. And I was calling the game, and that dunk caught me off surprise because I thought it was going to be an and one finger roll just because you had guys around, and you just soared through them. What have you done to get your body or your athleticism, not just a breakaway dunk, but now being able to finish in traffic?
Really just going hard in whatever I do. Last year, after every practice, I went to the weight room. This year, after football practices, I go to the Y, lift, just kind of get ready for basketball and just to be a better athlete.
And I want to say I was waiting to talk to Coach Goodman today, and I was looking a little bit of practice. I did see the two-hander on Prince's head. I did see that right off the block. How does that feel?
It's just a great feeling. I told Prince, hey, you got dunked on, but keep going in practice,
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, it was just a quick one step, and that to me is a big difference. Ninth grade was the first time I ever been dunked on. I've never dunked on anyone, so I will tell you from Prince's side, it is not awesome to be dunked on. Looking at your position, it's interesting to watch you play because you're playing the post. You can also play the perimeter. When you think of yourself as a basketball player, what type of game do you bring?
I just bring the game that helps the team, and whatever coaches see me fit, I just play that position and, just be a dog.
So are you, and we can see a mix of both ways, you do see that unselfishness on that offensive side. Do you, sometimes big guys like to show themselves as kind of a perimeter guy, can show the handles, can show the shot. Do you prefer to play on the block, or do you like hanging out on the perimeter?
It really doesn't matter to me. It's more of positioning,
Mm-hmm.
When I'm on the perimeter, it's more of a face-up, rip and go. When I'm on a post, I'm trying to be more patient, see where the guy's at, see the court. If Drake's open, Jackson's open, get it to them as fast as I can.
Yeah, and that's one thing we notice throughout. So when you all look at personal goals, we'll go with you, Trayshawn. When you're looking at personal goals for this year, and that may be weird to say as a facilitator, you don't really think of just you, but what are some personal goals you have with this season?
Probably racking up my assists. I'm the facilitator. I don't just see my teammates, get them open. It's like assists is like a big thing in my game. So I just like getting my teammates going, and if they're going, then it gets me hyped up, and we can all go together.
One thing that maybe the just normal viewer may not know, you're averaging 6 rebounds a game. That is a huge number from the point guard position. And before you, Armani Thomas, 2 years ago, averaged like 8 rebounds a game. Last year, right around where you are this year. How important is it to have a point guard who can rebound and go with the basketball?
We work on rebounding a lot. So, like, we have these called crash and get back.
Okay.
And basically me, Dalen, and whoever a dominant rebounder is, like Braden Weatherly, we're all crashmen, so we just run our hardest, go try to get a rebound, and then we got like Carter Giannetto, Jackson Eisenbarth play back on the defensive side.
And then, Dalen, not to be outdone, you're a little over 9 rebounds a game. And finding, again, that athleticism in traffic, how important is it to make sure on the offensive side, I think both you and Prince are incredible offensive rebounders. What do you think the key is for your offensive rebounding ability?
Really just getting around the guy, being more aggressive than him, wanting the ball more to get that second chance points.
And then we talked a little about Trayshawn, his personal goals for the year. What are your personal goals for this basketball season?
Really just being dominant, getting boards for the team, those second chance points again, really just helping the team out however I can.
So I'll ask this to both of you. Coach is gone, so you can tell me. You can be completely honest. Pie is sky. What are your team goals for this year? Where do you think the ceiling is for the Bobcats?
Really, I feel as the sky's the limit for us. We're capable of so much that it's kind of, I can't put it really into words. We work hard in practice all the time. We play defense. We work on defense a lot, rebounding. It's just improving. I don't know. Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
To add on to Dalen, like the moon's the limit. We're all able to take criticism, and if we keep being able to take criticism, I feel like we could like win our first round of our playoff game, second round, and just get our energy from that, and then we just keep going from there.
One thing Coach talked about, and we see it every time we see you guys walk on the court, is defense is primary. And if there's any flaw in the team's game right now that may be a hindrance to getting to Des Moines, what would you guys say it is?
I'd say, our defense is like, we live and die by, if you can stick defense, you can play the whole game. If you can't stick defense for the whole possession, you might as well just not play. Like, defense is our offense, basically.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a great point. You guys get into transition, you start rolling. That's where the three-point shooters can get in those wings, and then we've already some of my favorite calls are watching Prince and Dalen finish on the break. Those are fun. Those are fun for us as well, and gets the crowd hyped. So, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Really, it is phenomenal to get to follow you guys. Football season, basketball season, both incredible young men, represent our community well, represent the Bobcats well, represent your families well. So thank you so much, and when we come back, we will have Coach Brian Murphy for the Bobcat girls along with Amaya Moore and Sarah Huffman in our final segment here. So live from Zeno's Pizza, it's Bobcat Live. We'll be right back.
Help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time by ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sauteed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to Marshalltown.org.
Why choose Marshalltown Community College for your education?
A quality education.
Hands-on career training.
Convenient on-campus living.
One-on-one attention from my instructors.
Earning my AA degree and transferring to university, all while saving money.
Why was MCC the right choice for me? The great student activities and the friends I met.
2 convenient locations and the option to take online classes.
The right choice is MCC.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problems. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
And we're back here with Coach Brian Murphy live at Zeno's on Bobcat Live. Coach, thank you very much for coming out again here tonight. Just got off of practice and some film work. Just quick insight, how'd practice go? How's film work getting ready for Mason tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, every night's a little bit different. There's a wrestling meet going on in the roundhouse, so it's always a little tight in the ox there sometimes. But no, it was good. It was good. And I mean, the good thing is walking in Mason City, we kind of know what areas we need to focus on. So that kind of allows us to be a little bit more deliberate about the types of things we're walking into.
And we talked a little bit about it Tuesday night. You saw some trapping, extended trap. That's what we're going to see again with Mason. Length with North, some length with Mason City. When you look at that, what are some of the things that Mason brings to the table that the Bobcats are really focusing in on and have to account for?
Well, I mean, you nailed it. They're relatively long. I mean, their entire roster is about 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that lane, right in that zone. So, we've got to recognize that there's going to be a lot of length in the passing lane. So we got to make sure we move the zone before we're trying to sneak things through. And when we think about how they compare to Urbandale tried to really put some pressure on with some speed up front, and then the backside was a little bit longer. Mason City doesn't have quite that much speed up front, but that length makes it really tough where you've got to make sure you're moving girls first. We're trying to get passes through, and so we got to make sure we're really aggressive and attack in the middle of that zone if we're going to have any success breaking that press consistently. Yeah, and Mason City, I think they're probably at that position last year, 8-14, but they're a really young squad. They always seem like right on the edge of potentially being a team that was very good. You look at them this year, 3 games in, it's kind of hard. Beat Waterloo East, lose to Waterloo West,
probably every single school in the state will lose to Waterloo West, top 25 in the nation, which for a public school is a pretty rare feat. When you look at them, and you're talking about length that they have, one of the big bright spots for the Bobcats is the length that's coming up in that freshman class, and it's length not just in the post. Where Georgia Jansen, yes, 5'11" in the post, but you have Millie Heitman, 5'11", on the wing, along Amaya's here tonight in that junior class. Sydney brings some size to the inside. What philosophically, when we think of what you picture this offense and defense being for the Bobcats, what would you like to see as you grow this program?
I mean, ultimately what we're looking to see is that, I mean, we want girls to be able to attack from any position. So essentially within our offense, wherever they catch the ball, we want them to have the confidence to be able to attack, have the confidence to finish from a variety of angles, shoot from outside, inside, that positional versatility I talk a lot about, where essentially we want to make sure that no matter who's on the floor as we sub through and try to keep girls fresh, that we're not really losing the flow of our offense. And so when we think about a team like Mason City, where they've got a lot of length, but that length is not created equal, where some of that length is a little bit slower, maybe with some of the foot speeds, we need to make sure we can attack that with some of our quicker guards. And if we can exploit some of those matchups where they're scrambling and try to catch up to us, it allows us to put some of that length on their heels, and it's a lot harder to block shots when you're off balance. So we've got to make sure our aggression really sets the tone offensively, and then defensively it all comes down to just physicality. Length is one thing, but again, I mean, if you're getting into girls, making sure that every time they drive, they feel you, shot goes up, we're boxing out, making sure we're getting them out of the paint. I mean, those little things really eliminate some of the impact of that length. And so we've just got to kind of embrace that mindset of, regardless of the length we're facing, we've got to be able to attack that. And certainly Mason City, I mean, they are young. Their record's a little bit deceptive because they're 1-2, but their other loss was Decor, who's number 4 in Class 4A, and Coach Clausen's been there for over 20 years. I mean, he does a great job of they just kind of reload every year, and they've got their system in place. So we got to make sure we match that level of discipline they've got there.
And you talked a little bit about that, defensively wanting them to feel you, not just being long, but being physical. Sometimes with the freshmen for that smaller group, you can sense some timidity on the court. Tonight we have Amaya and Sarah with us, and timidity is not a word that I would ever use to describe them. How important are Sarah and Amaya and, say, Ellie and others in helping the younger class build that kind of physical nature, that physical imposing will?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and both the girls can attest to, because they both got thrown in the varsity level young as well. Sarah freshman year, and Maya got thrown in, first game of the year where, we had a Paige lined up, tore ACL, and so Maya kind of got thrown in the fire, and I think they can both attest. I mean, the two biggest adjustments when you step on the varsity floor, it's the speed and it's the physicality that you face. And I think it takes some time to kind of embrace that and recognize how physical you've got to be intentionally and not situationally, where everything you're doing is physical. I thought Sarah did a really nice job against Urbandale in that 1-3-1 where she was getting in the paint because she put her shoulder down and got to her spots to get the shots off. And that's a hard thing to recognize sometimes as younger players, the level of physicality needed just to get a shot off, a quality shot off. And so certainly they've done a nice job on the game floor, but certainly in practice as well, where, I think I mentioned that the last one of these that, we kind of stopped practice and had Ellie and Amaya kind of show us what a defensive drill should look like. And so trying to set that tone in practice, and that's something that it just takes time, where you can say it, but they've got to feel it and start to embrace it, and you see flashes of it, but they've got to be able to do it consistently day in and day out.
And I want to talk a little bit about Ellie and Aubrey as well. I think they've both taken a step this year. Aubrey really wasn't a part of it, or Ellie, and they've come in and given good minutes. I believe Aubrey's 5 points Tuesday night were her career high. Can you speak to their development as well?
Yeah, with Aubrey, she's got the green light, where she was in all summer working her shot, and the message to her is if she's open, her feet are set, we want her putting that ball up. I've got a lot of confidence in her jump shot. She just has to make sure that she's ball ready when she getting that shot up, ready to go. So we've got a lot of confidence in her offensively, being somebody that can really help us out, especially in a zone situation where, if she's the last person on that swing action, we want her getting that shot up with confidence. And Ellie is somebody that, we said in the locker room, and she was one of the players of the game against Des Moines North the other night where, with Amaya out sick, we needed somebody physical in there to go up against those 6'2" posts, and she did a fantastic job where we just had her planted in the paint. We had her sagging way off to try to help in the paint. She got out and deflected a couple shots, but still was in the rebound of the ball. So, I mean, her both ability to play physical down low, but then her willingness to kind of step into a role that is new to her is a really, it's a testament to what she brings and her willingness to kind of do what the team needs.
And one thing that we're seeing is that this year in the extended zone pressure, it is giving the Bobcats some difficulties. When they're able to get into the offensive set, it does seem like we are getting better offensive sets in the half court than we have in previous years. Is that what you're seeing, or am I just off base watching the games here this year?
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartely. I think we're doing a much better job of getting ourselves set, once we break the press, which is not something that we did consistently in the past. And a lot of credit does go out to Sarah. She's done a good job of, once we break that press, you can almost see everybody exhale a little bit.
Yep.
And it's usually ball in her hand up top when that happens, kind of getting people set, getting where they need to be before we go. I think bizarrely the shot clock also plays a role in that sometimes, where there's almost a sense of security sometimes of knowing that, we've got all of this time available to us, and so we could and should take as much time as we can to get, quality shot up. So, we're showing a lot of growth. Our mantra for a lot of the season has been poise and patience in offense, making sure that, we're ready to shoot, but we're also not forcing shots. We're trying to get the best quality shot we can, no matter what defense that we're seeing on the floor.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, for your time as always. And when we come back, we'll have junior Sarah Huffman along with junior Amaya Moore here on Bobcat Live at Zeno's Pizza.
City within a city not far from here. The city includes a beautiful apartment building with indoor parking, isn't really a city, but it is a wonderful place to live. Make friends and live your best life. It's the Embers Retirement Community in Marshalltown. The Embers provides security, independence, and companionship. Beautiful grounds outside and lovely studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments inside. See it for yourself. The Embers in Marshalltown.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. Capon & Brown helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call Capon & Brown to hear more about how they can help you feel healthier and happier in your home. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call them today at 641-753-3563 or visit them online at caponandbrowninc.com. Your local premier Lennox dealer, where quality has been a promise for 48 years.
Marshalltown knows competition. We started forging trowels in 1890 and evolved into manufacturing tools for masonry, drywall, concrete, flooring, tile, paint, and more. Today, we're still going strong. Marshalltown strong. As a worldwide leader in manufacturing, we crush the competition. We believe in our community and are proud to support Bobcat Athletics.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress has your mattress. Every firmness, comfort, and support level, each at a great price. Make the investment today for a good night's sleep for years to come. McGregor's also has quality furniture for every room in your home. Beautiful, comfortable sofas, recliners, dinette sets, and office furniture to help you work and relax in comfort and style. McGregor's Furniture is proud to bring you quality furniture and great service, and they are proud to support Bobcat Athletics. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
And we're back here at Bobcat Live at Zeno's Pizza, and it is our great honor to have Sarah Huffman, junior guard, along with Amaya Moore, junior forward. Ladies, this is your first time on Bobcat Live, right?
Yeah.
It is so great to have you on, and I'm just going to start with a hard-hitting question. Sarah, 2 games ago, you made a girl cry in the middle of the game.
Oh, my gosh.
And this is what I know about you. You're always tenacious. You're not afraid to talk. Where does that tenacity come from with you?
Well, I've been in sports my entire life, so that competitive edge just has been drilled in me since I was like 3 years old. So I just keep it going as I age.
Yeah, that's one thing, and I say those things as a term of respect. One thing that we've noticed, actually my first game that I got a call for the Bobcats was your first game on varsity. So we've both been on the varsity team for 3 years now, so we've got that in common. What have you learned over these 3 years with Coach Murphy and in the basketball program?
There's been so much. Since I was a freshman, I just had to learn that I need to have confidence on offense, that I can miss a shot, it's fine, brush it off, go back on D, and then come and try again and try and make another shot.
Yeah, and Amaya, that same thing. You would also be a person that I would say the word tenacity would go with that. And I really saw that last year as Coach would start to put you on the front of that pressure defense or that half court. What have you learned in your time in the program?
I've picked up on so many new things. Being up there on defense was so much fun for me. And this is the sport that I picked up on the most team, like energy and work. And
so you all were often the last couple of years, you were the youngest players that were really in that rotation. You had others to look up towards. You were just the young kids making plays. Now, even as juniors, you are the older players, the ones modeling. When you take on that leadership role, what are you trying to show to the freshmen 4 that are on there, along with other underclassmen that are on the team?
We just have to show them that we all make mistakes and that we just need to brush it off because it's going to happen, and just accept that it's going to happen and move on and try to recover from it.
Yeah, definitely keep the energy up to go off of Sarah, and positivity is definitely our number one.
And one of the things you look at, so I'd love to know as you guys look at some of the younger players, is there 1 or 2 players that really jump out to you that are either, if you're playing against them in practice or with in practice, that really impress you? Sarah, we'll start with you.
I think Millie Heitman does a really good job at getting to the rim, finding those cuts. She has a lot of basketball IQ for our team being young, and I think that she will do really great things, as well as Sydney Capello.
Yep. Yeah, and I was thinking Millie always just Sydney has just a bunch of basketball swag about her. The way she carries herself, the way she dribbles, like you can tell she's been playing for a long time. Millie is one that I love that you brought up her name. She's impressed me because she's 5'11" and is a guard.
Yeah.
Basically, she's a guard and brings a really unique skill set. So, Amaya, from your perspective, who are a couple of the younger players that impress you?
I'd say Sydney Capello and Kinsley Bowie. Kinsley's came out this season, and her ball handling skills are really up there from what I remember 8th grade being like. And then Sydney, she really is an aggressive player and can work her way to the rim very easily.
So is she one that'll throw elbows in practice?
Definitely.
Yeah. Kinsley, what I've always loved about her, she's one of those, reminds me a little bit of you, Sarah, in the no fear. If that shot's there, she is not afraid to shoot it.
Yeah, she definitely isn't, and she does remind me a lot of myself. Freshman year, a little hesitant, gets upset about your mistakes, but then just works back and tries to correct it.
So that's my youngest son in the front table. He's always been a shorter kid, but we always talk about aggressiveness. You average 4.5 rebounds a game. Why? That's one thing that I've always been impressed with you. You have always rebounded your position better than forwards, better than even some centers. Where does that come from?
Well, I think it's just most of my aggression towards the rim. So if my teammates are boxing out pretty well, I'll just go in for that rebound, try and help them get rebounds, box out for them. But if I see the opportunity, I just take it and then go.
And then as we look, we're going towards Mason City. Last year, Mason City came out, especially up at Mason City. That was just a kind of a struggle where they just kind of avalanche a little bit. Knowing this pressure is going to come, knowing it's going to be some trapping, some length on the front, in your mind, how do you prepare yourself going into that type of game? What are you looking to accomplish as the point guard?
Just breaking that press, because we usually have trouble until about the second quarter. So I'm just looking for the opportunities we can have to get forward off the press, because it'll give us more opportunities on fast breaks and just setting up our overall offense.
That's a really interesting point, because getting to watch your games as I'm starting to break them down, you know, you're looking at the scores. If you just take that second half versus that first half, it seems that first quarter is just been the time where you've struggled, while in that second to fourth quarter, to your point of not giving up, we see that game in and game out because you're always keep fighting. But is there something you can see that you're like, I need to do this in the first quarter, or just out of the chute maybe a little bit differently?
I think I just need to settle down. Like, I can't just go into it and then be surprised that they're being aggressive. Yeah. So I have to be aggressive back from the jump and not be timid.
Yeah, and that's so it's really just kind of be you. I think if all those things that you say, like no one I think would call you timid or anything, so it's kind of that be you. Amaya, from your perspective, as you look at this season, what's a personal goal you have for your junior season?
I'd say not fouling out every game, which I've been successful. I haven't fouled out a couple games ago, but and besides like my personal like that, leading the team, I feel like, and building off of like everybody around me.
So Amaya, I'm going to be honest with you here. We internally, I did have a tally mark of how many games Amaya might foul out in a row, and I did notice you did not foul out. So I just have to be honest with you. I did. It's like, all right, Amaya, good job. It's because it's that playing that really aggressive defense and getting to a point where, it doesn't end in a foul. But definitely see that and see your leadership. Sarah, for you, what's an individual goal you have this year?
Personally, I really want to be that positive energy, and I want to build my teammates up. So whether that's attitude or with stats, I want to get more assists, get those rebounds so I can push them out to my teammates. Just overall, try and be the facilitator of the team rather than the shooter.
Yeah. And then think of team goals. As you look at this Bobcat, going into a brand new conference, not having to see maybe Waukee Northwest, Waukee every game. What are some team goals that you have this year?
We're just trying to build up our chemistry and look forward to the future games, because we are a young team, so we have a whole nother year together. So we're working up that chemistry and the bond so that we can be even more successful next year.
And then looking at it as we go through, I did want to say Xavier and I, we did get a chance to do the loudspeaker at the Powder Puff football game, and we did want to say how impressed we were with you off the tee. I was basically gonna try to talk to Coach Goodvin about some shoulder pads. Where does that soccer skill come into play? Both, how did you fall in love with soccer, and how does that sport, where you can't use your hands, come to play for a sport that relies solely on your hands?
Well, for soccer, I started when I was 3. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I've had that competitive edge since 3 when I started soccer. And that's where my love for sports in general just started. And for basketball, soccer kind of relates on defense. Mm-hmm. So I would say my strength in basketball is probably my defense, because soccer and basketball are a lot more similar in that ways, since I can't use my feet for basketball.
You can try, but you may end up, it may be a foul out. So, but I really appreciate this. I think you ladies both did tremendously. Good luck tomorrow night against Mason City. It's always a pleasure to get to cover your games and finally get to talk to you a little bit more one-on-one. So thank you very much. And you've been watching Bobcat Live here live at Zeno's Pizza. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6.